Should I stay or give up on the marriage? Hi there. My husband and I have been struggling since July, which was D-Day. My husband had a year-long affair in 2013. I have at times felt we were making progress and at times moving much farther apart. By the way, that's normal. It's quite a yo-yo as couples go through this process. Because of our many troubles and issues in our life, I felt extremely hurt because of this betrayal. I didn't see it coming. When I received the telltale signs in the mail, I actually trusted my husband that much. I have truly been there for my husband through many of his life trials. He agrees with that. Ex-wife and stepchildren, building a business, many very time-consuming hobbies. I've had very little support. Just before my husband began his affair, my mother was very ill and I was extremely busy. I asked him to please give me some support. I needed him so desperately. Instead, he began an affair. This to me seems like the end of a marriage. Time to say enough. Wish each other well and move on. Am I wrong? Obviously, you can make whatever choice you want to make. I can't tell you what to do or not to do. I will point out a couple of things, though. Affairs don't necessarily mean there's nothing to salvage in a relationship. It's common when there's been an affair, especially one that went on for an entire year, and especially one that came about when your mother is dying, to let that one negative event taint all 18 years or 16 years of the marriage. But that doesn't mean that all 16 years of this marriage was bad, or the first 16 years of this marriage was bad. It does mean that things haven't gone well in the last 2 years. About a third of affairs happen during pregnancy for a woman, or sometimes even the woman has an affair. But frequently, and by the way, this is no justification, what happens during pregnancy or what happens as a parent is dying is there's a natural distance that begins to happen because much of our focus is placed elsewhere. Your husband should have definitely come along beside you. It is a high-risk situation. Instead of having integrity, obviously during that time period, he tried to meet his own needs and betrayed you. You had nothing to do with that. Yeah, there are stressful situations in life. I'm sure that what he did also put you in some stressful situations, but you remained faithful. I always say, even if there were a bad marriage, two people can be in a bad marriage and typically only one has an affair. So I want to be very careful to say there's nothing that you did, I think, ultimately that caused this thing. I'm not blaming you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I would invite you, though, to begin to look at the previous pieces of the relationship and realistically and see if there weren't good parts. Oftentimes when someone goes through something like this, it serves as a catalyst to get them to finally look at themselves and to begin to take responsibility for themselves. It's the thing that can begin to cause them to change and take responsibility. I don't know your husband. I'm not sure ultimately if that's happening. One of the things that I would suggest before you move on, taking something like the EMS weekend or doing something like the EMS online course would give both of you opportunity to see what's going on in other couples and how you compare to them. You may find if you're on one of the EMS online courses or you come to one of the weekends, as you watch your husband, that he's not anywhere close to where he would need to be for your relationship. And for sure, I can say at that point, moving on is probably very wise. You may also find that he's displaying qualities and characteristics as you look at these other couples that actually provide hope and that maybe there could be change. Our experience is that this can serve as a catalyst to take this relationship to a new place. As I always say, The best marriages I know have actually come through this. Not that there aren't other good marriages, I'm not saying that, but it is possible for things to change significantly. It's also difficult, I know, for your journey in terms of healing and being able to forgive and getting rid of the intrusive thoughts. I will tell you, it does happen over time, but your husband also needs to know what he can do to help you in that process. So um, at least I would invite you to consider the possibility that there may be things here still to salvage. And I would look at other things, and I don't know if you've gotten professional help, but certainly I would invite you to consider doing one of our couples courses so that you can gain, I think, valuable information to make this decision.